Welcome back. Today is Tuesday. Here's a disclaimer. And let's get into today's recap. Small green day today. We don't have too much to talk about. There wasn't really much going on. Um, I did give back over half my profits towards the end. Before then, I was having a pretty decent green day, and now it's just a mediocre one. Um, so we started off the day in the green on GLTO, I believe. Yep, GLTO. And then we quickly gave back a profit on that one, going right on that one actually. And then slowly getting to green on, I believe it was NVOS. Yeah, NVOS, and then giving back profit towards the end of the day. So let's go ahead and go over the trades today. Let's go here. So we started off on TLSA. This one was at 93 cents. I was looking at this one for a breakup high at day 104 pre-market. So that was the goal as this one starts to move at the open. It was moving between 93 and 95 here. I was trying to make use of the spread because it was a little bit spready here. It had like a 1 to 2 cent spread. There was a big buyer there at 95, so I'm trying to make use of that buyer to try and get a push towards 96. The buyer ends up not being there, so I get out as it breaks back below 95. Let's see, 30 seconds later. Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. There we go. Back here, I got a dip buy here at 89. Hoping for this back over 90, 91 to take profit. Watching 90, 91. It's a bit slower to move right here. Volume's dying off on this candle. There's 92 on the ask, but only 90 on the bid. So as it comes up to 91 on the bid, I think that's where I take my profit off. Yeah. Took off half at 91, and then the other half I think I hold until break even. Could have played this one a little bit better. But the main mover of the morning was GLTO here. This thing had a halt up at 96. I missed this first initial move. It was on the scans to like around 87, 88. And it quickly pushed up to 93. But as it's pulling back, I'm looking at this seller at 95, and I'm looking at the halt level to move up. So I'm getting a starter position down here at 92, with risk down to 90, and then I'm adding as it's going to break 95. So here I take an add at 95, as it looks like it's going to break, with the green coming in, up to 4,000 shares. There's the halt up at 1. In all honesty, I probably should have taken a bigger add there. Considering it is below $1, I probably should have not only, I probably should have been sized into around like 6,000 to 8,000 shares. That would be appropriate for my current share size. I think the only reason I sized so little was because it was still the opening of it was still like the first couple minutes of the day. So I wasn't exactly in the green yet, I wasn't really in the red yet, I just kind of was on break even on the day. So I wanted to make sure I got green first. And then I end up taking this out mostly at $1, going into the halt, took off 2/3 of it, holding into the halt the rest. Take a couple trades on GMVD during this time. Break of 27, 8,000 shares. Watching 27.50. Breaks back below 27, take it off at 26.50. And as it's holding 26.50, 27, I'm looking to get back in. So there's 27 back in. Watching 2750 this time for an ad. 2750 breaks, watching it hold. Taking off a quarter, watching 28, adding back at 28, watching 28 break, and taking it off as 28 breaks. So out at 28. Ends up going a little bit higher to 28.50, 28.80. So I missed a little bit of profit on the exit. Let's see here. Pulling back to 28, below 28.8, there's 27.50, 27.26, watching a dip here. Gotta look to take a dip here. If it looks like it wants to get back over 27, there it goes. Watching 27.50 and 28. Watching 27.50, taking off a quarter at 27.30. Taking off a little bit more at 27.20. And adding a little bit back actually at 27.70 for the break of 28. We get the break of 28, I'm trying to take some off here. Take off a quarter, taking off another half, and take out the rest of 28. We're about to get the resumption on GLTO in about a minute here. So resumption here on GLTO, it's showing 106. I have a pretty bullish bias on this right now. It just broke back over 1. It's showing 106, a pretty decent gap for this stock's price. And so I'm looking to sell this current position for a profit and then add back on a dip and rip. What ends up happening is we have a big seller at 105, so I take off my position at 104. I see it breaks 105, so I get back in at 107, take it off at 105 as 107 doesn't break. So it's a bit too quick to take that off. And then, so I'm watching this, still not really dipping. Taking a dip there at 104, but now it's too early, so it goes down to 102. Meanwhile, GMVD just ripped from 29 to 31. I missed that whole thing. Big seller at 101, trying to buy the dip here at 97. So right there, with that seller at 101, it dipped back below 1. Usually I'll take that dip buy for the break back over 1 or the retest of 1. In this case, it ended up continuing to flush a little bit more, so I had to take it off at 95, I believe. As 95 breaks. I think that's what I did. Just watch it for a little bit more. No, it looks like I add back at 95, 95.20. Looks like 95's holding for a second, and it doesn't. Right there at 94, I take it off. So I end up getting back almost all the profit on GLTO here. And I believe I take one more trade down here, which is actually the big loser. 30 seconds later. Yeah, so I take a dip buy there at 91. It's already at 89. So I'm already 2 cents in the hole. And then let's see, it's somewhat reclaiming 90, but the spread's kind of opened up a little bit. I would need the bid to get over 90 here. And look at that, GMVD all the way up to 34. Just missed this whole move from 29 to 34 because I was focusing on the wrong thing. So I take it off at 87 for a big loss on GLTO. And the second I got out of GLTO 87, it bounced all the way to 92. So I didn't break even on it, which sucked. That's sometimes how it goes though. Sometimes it goes low enough where you're uncomfortable holding it any longer, and then you have to bail because if it went any lower, you'd be really in the hole. But then all of a sudden it just reverses. This one ends up going lower though, so I didn't feel too bad about that exit. So back to being red on the day. Then I see GMVD made this big move, and I FOMO into it. get one winner on it, and then I take a big loss here in just a second. Getting in 8,000 shares at 32 and then out at 29. Took a $200 loss there. So yeah, FOMO'd into it after I'd already made the big move. This is when NVOS starts to move as well. So I'm watching NVOS, 32,000 shares, in for the break of 1150 up to, and at 1150 we're looking to add for the break up to 1188 and high day break for $12 or 12 cents. So adding to a high position at 48,000, 56,000, watching 12 for the break. Average is 1140. $12 looks like it's breaking. So holding this position for the 12 break. There's the break. It's not breaking by too much. Trying to get a little bit out. Watching 1225. Does 1225 want to break? Not exactly. Took off another quarter. Watching 1225. 1230 is high. Watching 1230. 1225 not really holding. Taking off more and more. And getting out at 12. Big seller at 12 now. Let's see. Took a couple more scalps than this one as it's around 12. And I think there was a few more good trades on NVOS. 953. The other ones are all scratch. So here I'm getting in. This is a typical bull flag pullback. Getting in for the break of 1270. Small size to start, seeing if it wants to get over 1270. So watching 1270 as our first level to break. It's starting to break, so I get in, I double my position. There we go, watching, look at that, quickly. Watch my position size here as it starts to ramp over, well, 1270. So watch, adding here, I double click the buy button, up to 32,000 shares as it breaks 1270. Then as we're confirming the breakout of 1270, we're hitting 1290. I'm adding again, 40,000, 48,000, and then as I see this sell order at 13 get filled, I'm adding my last 8,000 shares. So we're at 1280 average. We're at 1230. Watching 1330. Watching 1350. 1350 is a big seller, so I'm actually looking to take this off as we get some buyers on the bid to sell into. So taking off most of it as it comes back down. Adding back a little bit there as there we have a big buyer at 1315. And then as that big buyer at 1315 breaks, I think I take off the rest. Yeah, there we go. Buying the dip here as it breaks back below 13. Seeing if we can get back over 1290 as the target. So 1290 on the ask. There's 13, adding at 13. 1290 average. I'm watching this for a break over 1320, 1330, 1340 is high a day. So do we want to get that break over 1320, 25? Getting 1325, there's 1330, so watching Or high day break. It's kind of bouncing around here. It's not really going. Let's see. 1330, does it break? No, big seller comes back in at 1330, so taking it off as 1315 starts to not hold out the rest of 13. So with these bigger size orders, I'm really holding a larger portion of my position for longer because my selling actually contributes quite significantly to the price action in terms of it's not quite significantly, but like if I just throw out 40,000 shares to sell, obviously the price is gonna fluctuate a little bit. It's not like this thing can just take 40,000 shares and just scoff. So when I do sell, the price tends to come down a little bit, unless I'm selling as it's squeezing. So I do have to sell in increments, and then I'm making sure I'm not selling before I pretty much know that the move is not going to happen. If the move still has a chance of happening, I'm not going to sell because I don't want to snuff out the flame before it starts. Let's see. There was a few trades on GNS, nothing really worth mentioning though. This one didn't move that much. And then NVOS, that's right. NVOS made a second move here. 12 to 13. So I'm loading in heavy here because I'm seeing this curl pattern towards 1250. And if we can break 1250, I want to be sizing in heavy for the break of 13 again. Watching. Let's see. Yeah, so I added at 1250. 1280 was the high there. We get a small dip down to 1230, which I don't like, so I start selling a little bit. Because I'm in around 1230, I don't want to sell this for a loss. Big seller, or big buyer comes in at 1260. I take that as a cue to add more, so I'm up to 50,000 again. Looking for that buyer to hold, but that buyer starts getting eaten into a little bit. It was at 3,200, and now it's at 30,000 or 3,000. And 61, see how the spread came down? Spread's only a thousandth of a penny now. So there are sellers trying to stop this thing from moving up. And the order here starts to come down. I take that as a sign to start getting out everything, and I do. So I get out everything. I use this buyer as liquidity to get out because this sell wall starts to get very thick, and it's not looking like it's going to break. So I get out before even that buyer is fully out. Then the buyer adds back, so I get back in. Smaller size, 24,000. But then 61 seems to be not breaking. Actually, no, it does. Okay, never mind. Adding as 61 breaks. Watching 1290. There's 13. Is this the big one? Let's see. When was this? 10:05. Oh, you know what? This one ends up reversing, I think. Yeah, we broke 13, but then we couldn't hold above it. And I was just too slow to sell. So I ended up getting out at 1280. Pretty much break flat. Made $18 on the trade. GROV at 10:15. GROV, this one wasn't moving that much, had low volume. But I was able to get a decent fill at like 84, I believe. wasn't this one, it was this. Yeah, so I bought the dip here, got a fill at 88 at the bottom of that candle. Was expecting like 89, 90 area, but I got 88. And we end up whipping back towards 3. There's 95. I was considering adding at 95. I didn't just because this was such low volume and the spreads were pretty wide. Otherwise, I would have added another 800 shares up to 1200, but take off a quarter instead, take off a third as it's getting up to 3. There I add another 800 at 87 or 97, and then watching break of 3. There's 3 on the ask. We're starting to test 3. 99 looks like it's breaking. Watching break of 3. There's 305, 310. My exits there were 301 and 306. Not bad. And getting out a little bit at 310. I tried throwing out a limit order up there. Got out 55 shares, and then the rest I had to take out, I think at 302. Got some out at 306, and then the rest out at 302. And that was I think that was the final big trade on the day. Yeah, and then, so at my highs I was at 900. And then TLSA. Yeah, on this one I got caught on a break of view up. Just sized a little bit aggressively for the break of view up at 89. And then it ends up being a false break. And then here, look, I tried selling 10,000, half my position market, but it ended up being too big of an order for this price range. I don't know why. Sometimes TD Ameritrade doesn't let you throw out big orders. Because you'd think on a 90-cent stock, it'd be fine. Also, the volume's not like, it's not like there's only 100,000 shares of volume. There's a million shares of volume in the last 3 minutes. So I think 10,000 shares wouldn't be a problem, but I guess it was. So that threw me off a little bit, so I had to sell in 5,000 share increments instead. Ended up taking a loss there. Nice little haircut, and then, sorry this video is getting too long. Let me know if you guys like want like a time limit on the videos, because I feel like I can make them shorter, like more concise. Just pick out a few of the most notable trades, because a lot of it is just small trades. Let's see, I took a haircut there. Where was this? Oh yeah, TTOO, I started trading backside, I believe. Gave back quite a bit on this. Got in 32,000 at 51. Let's see, how could I improve this? It's trying, okay, so right here, it was trying 50-80 to get back over 90. It didn't go, and now it's showing 62 on the ask. I should be selling here. But yeah, because I'm in so large, I actually end up getting filled at 50-60 and 50-20 on the exit. So when you're in larger position, it does take some time to get out, so you have to account for that in terms of slippage. 32. So in here again, as this thing's coming back up to 51, watching 50-90, in at 50-55. There's 51. Is it gonna break? It's looking like it's getting stuck here at 50-90. And then by the time I realize it's not gonna break 51, right here, right there at 75 is when I should have gotten out. And now I'm selling down here at Oh, there's a big buyer there at 60. Does it hold? I think it's going to. Then it ends up not getting back above 70. I might have gone back above 70 once. Let's see. If it doesn't retest 90 here, you have to get out. Yeah, so it breaks back below 60, and then right here at 50, I think is where I start to sell. Really, I'm still holding this? No, I should have been out. Yeah, this was unnecessary. Why am I still in? Yeah, no, I should have been out at 50-50. There was the signs. I should have been out. Yeah, even if it does bounce back over, you're supposed to be getting out. Big seller there at 50-50, and that's when I took my exit. 50-20. So I lost an extra quarter per share. A quarter of a penny per share. There was no need for that though. And then I take one or two more paper cuts right there, and that's where I end the day at 370. So I gave back half. Yeah, so the recording still goes for another extra 20 minutes. That's because I was trading DS or DCTH with one share, which I actually ended up doing pretty good with. I'm starting to get more comfortable trading these higher priced ones with one share. You'll see I catch this nice move on DCTH with one share only. Was able to make 60 cents on one share during this move, which was nice. Imagine if that was 400 shares, that's 240 bucks. Because that's what I'd be using on. I wouldn't be using 800. I wouldn't be using 1,000. It's too much for me right now. I think I would test the waters with like 400 shares. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the day. A little bit disappointing. I did spend a lot in fees today, SEC fees, because I traded 2 million shares in just the sub pennies. Traded a lot of NVOS, like huge positions, 56,000 shares in, 56,000 shares out, multiple times. So I racked up like 150 in fees. So I'm only actually up only like 200 on the day. Pretty break even, small green day. At least I didn't there wasn't any huge whips in P&L. I'm not fond of the fact that I gave back as much as I did on GLTO, the one that was halting at the beginning. And then also going from 900 to 370 was also very bad. I should have cut it sooner. Like maybe like at 500 or something. Anyways, pretty slow day. So not much to be said other than that. I didn't lose emotions today. It felt very dull. Was very sleepy towards the end of the session because it was just nothing was keeping me awake. But yeah, that's it. I'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday. Hopefully, we get some nice stuff moving. And yeah, if things continue to go good on these $6, $10 stocks where I'm making like 60 cents a share, then I'll start experimenting with like 100 shares, I think. That'll be a good starter into experiment. 100 to 200 shares instead of 1 to 2 shares. And then we'll see where that takes us. That way it's not really affecting our P&L. If we're red on a stock that's higher priced, it's only like 60 bucks instead of like 600 bucks. I don't think 60 bucks will make or break our day, you know. So yeah, I'll start implementing the higher priced ones if this continues to go well with the one share. I don't really have a timeline on that when I'll start to do that, but I'll just play it by ear, see what happens with the one share trades. Yeah, take care guys. I'll be back tomorrow.